I finally got some time to do the only one deck tag, which was created by Jay at Iridescent Tarot. It is a challenge, but I really wanted to do it for myself actually. Ever since I saw this tag, I've been thinking about it. So I'm sharing my picks with you guys. The tag is basically, if you could keep only one tarot and one oracle deck, what would those be? And we can have runner-ups. Jay showed one runner-up, and some people have showed one runner-up for the tarot and one for the oracle. Some people have shown two runner-ups or even three. I keep it at one. I did put my own spin on it, which is swapping oracle with TDM. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys one esoteric deck, not esoteric per se, but I divided my tarot decks basically into historical decks, Italian decks, and TDM, and the rest, which is RWS, Thoth, and everything in between. So I'm starting with non-Marseille. The reason I'm doing this is that Marseille is a lot more important than Oracle for me. I am a Marseille lover. With Marseille, I mean Marseille style, Italian decks, all the historical pick decks. And these are a lot more important than Oracle. I have a lot of Oracle decks. I love Oracle decks. But TDM is more important. If I could keep only two decks instead of one tarot and one Oracle, I would definitely prefer to have one non-TDM tarot and one TDM tarot. So this is what I have done. So starting with the non-TDM and my runner-up for that. This is the Northern Animal Tarot, the 3rd edition. This is my soul deck. I'm showing you guys the 3rd edition. I have the 1st edition as well, and I really like that one too. Especially the cardstock for that one, because that cardstock is really cozy. But I always show this one in the camera because this edition, the 3rd edition, has a much brighter color palette. So it is a RWS clone, as you see. And I prefer to call it a he instead of it, because he is actually my pet. I don't have a pet because of allergies, which is very unfortunate because I'm an animal lover. And he is my pet. The deck is my pet, my animal companion. But these characters, each one of them, are my friends. Love this devil card. As I was saying, I am an animal lover. I love animals a lot more than humans. I'm not saying that I dislike humans, but human energy in general is not the most soothing thing to me. And I'm sure a lot of you understand and probably will agree. But I can also connect with animal decks very well, because I know many people love animals, but they cannot connect to an animal deck, especially if it's a tarot deck, especially if it's anthropomorphized. But for me, I actually really like anthropomorphic decks. I like to see all types of animals on my cards. Look at the Queen of Wands. And this deck is adorable and fantastical, as you see, but he's not too whimsical. He can provide serious and profound readings. He can read with various voices based on the theme of the reading. He can provide various types of readings. He is very versatile. And in general, as I was saying, many people don't like anthropomorphic decks. I, on the other hand, absolutely adore them. And that's mainly because I don't like people-y decks. So an anthropomorphic animal deck provides me the type of reading without having to look at people's faces on my table. I know I make sense to a lot of people. I love him, the King of Swords. This deck in general feels very grounding, very soothing. One very important aspect of it is that it's very accurate. He is very accurate. And above everything else, I just love this painting style, this art style. These at the end are the extra cards. You have moon phases and seasons and everything. These extra cards are like oracle cards. So this is my runner-up. The deck was in order, if you noticed, and now it's out of order, but it's okay. I will put a link in the description box to all the decks. My only deck would be my own rendition of the Thoth. I have 3, but out of these 3, I think I would choose Aeon of the Dark Mother. I will tell you why. The Thoth Nebula 2nd edition and Aeon of the Dark Mother are basically the same decks. They're both on linen cardstock. The images are the same. But Aeon of the Dark Mother is a lot bigger than Thoth Nebula 2nd edition. I would choose this one because if I'm gonna have only one deck, I think I want it to be a large size, and also because it has 6 spread cards that I'm using regularly, which I have edged in a different color, in a purple color, as you see. So the spread cards are 6 dark goddesses. Okay, so let me show you guys the Thoth Nebula next to Aeon of the Dark Mother, because the Thoth Nebula 2nd edition, as I said, is the same as this one, only smaller. Okay, let me tell you the story. Also, these are the backs. The story, Thoth Nebula is glossy. I always wanted the Thoth Tarot in a darker, moodier color palette. And I think this color palette captures the essence of the Thoth deck better. The difference between Thoth Nebula 1st edition and 2nd edition is that the colors are lighter and brighter in the 2nd edition, and some cards have a different coloring. That's the difference. And if you want to see that, I have 2 videos on my channel, which I will link in the description box if you want to compare them. The reason I would choose this deck as the only one is that this is my inner truth teller. It is the most personal deck I have, and I use this large version of the 2nd edition, which I called Aeon of the Dark Mother, solely for deity work, specifically with the dark goddess energy. This deck, I mean both of them, have the right combination of fierce, empowering, mystical, metaphysical, and esoteric. They feel modern yet ancient, and I really like that about it. That's a quality that you don't come across often, right? A deck being equally modern and ancient simultaneously, right? But this deck definitely has it big time. And apart from it being the Thoth deck and its sublime colors, something about the energy of this deck hits me in a way that I cannot even explain. But I've heard it from my friends who have this deck, that they have the exact same experience. I mean, I cannot break it down into why. I can keep saying things about this deck, but I cannot break it down into why. It hits me the way that nothing else does. It really rocks me to my core. And it is pretty much a visual journey, which I really appreciate. Because to me, a tarot deck is a form of art as well. The art aspect of tarot and oracle decks is very important to me. I cannot overlook that. especially if it's a favorite deck. Definitely the art aspect is very important to me. And it is even a little spooky in the most tasteful way. And also another important thing that made me choose it as the only one is that it conducts all sorts of readings that I am into. So yeah, nothing compares to this deck for me. And I created Thoth Nebula, the first one, in February 2025 for a small group of people, mostly for myself and Hanilu first, and then I made it available for other friends, but it's out of print forever. The second edition is still available. It's not going to be forever available, but it is still available now. The small edition, which is called Thoth Nebula second edition, is now available on Game Crafter, and this is the size compared to your standard tarot card, which is a really cool size, very comfortable size. And the large size is available on Make Playing Cards. It's Make Playing Cards Jumbo card. What was I saying? Yeah, first I created this one, the Thoth Nebula, and then I color corrected it. I wanted to try one with brighter colors and some changes. Some cards have a completely different color palette. So that's why I created the second edition. And then I realized that the second edition works beautifully for deity work. It's like it attracts deities. It speaks the language of the divine. It really does. So I was so happy with it that I went and created a larger edition, which is this one, and I called it Aeon of the Dark Mother Tarot. I created spreads for Sekhmet, Lilith, the Morrigan, Hel, Hecate, and Kali, 6 important dark goddesses, each one from a different pantheon. And what's happening here? Let me show you all the cards, but this is not a side-by-side, so you don't really get to see the differences. If you want to see a side-by-side video, it's in the description box. I'm just gonna show you all the cards, and I will do that with all the decks that I'm showing you today. This deck has, the Thoth Nebula has more cards. It has like 88 cards. There are some repeat cards in it. Okay, so this was my non-Marseille, only one. And now instead of the Oracle, I told you guys that I'm going to show you TDM. My runner-up for the TDM is Bacus Tarot's second edition, by myself again. I hope I don't come across arrogant or advertising my stuff. It really is. I mean, you can imagine, right? If you create a deck the way you want it, it most probably is your favorite or one of your absolute favorites, right? So this one, this is the back. Bacus Tarot second edition is a recreation of the iconic Vandambore tarot, which I have redrawn by hand and recolored by hand. And it took me a year. But it was a joyful experience. I love the Vandenbora deck for its uniqueness, for its extraordinary and outside the box details. But I never liked its classic colors. I always felt that this particular TDM could use a fresh and modern color palette. The one I created is color coded, so as you see, the suit of wands is all reds, different shades of reds with a little bit of green. Then the suit of cups is all different shades of blues and some purple and a little bit of green for the foliage mostly and for his hair. The suit of swords is in purple and pinks with a little bit of blue and green. Look at them. And the suit of denier, the suit of coins, is yellows, oranges, browns with a little bit of blue and green. Love the brown tones here. And this is the second edition. There is a first edition as well. I will again put a link in the description box if you want to know more about this deck, and this is also available on MPC and GameCrafter both. So this is the runner-up. If I did not have my favorite, absolute favorite TDM of all time, this would be my only one. But I have to tell you, I like this deck even better than my own hand-drawn and hand-painted TDM. Jakob Jörger, Tarot by Yves Renaud, which is available in his shop, and it's not even expensive. I mean, his shop is in France. It's not expensive for people in Europe. For my American friends, for my Australian, Canadian, South American friends, Asian friends, the shipping is gonna cost you. But anyway, this is my absolute favorite TDM deck so far. Although this is one of the most affordable TDMs in my collection. This shows you that it's not always about the price. Look at these people. Look at the faces, every one of them, and all the details. I really don't know where to start. This deck deserves spending an hour to look at each card properly. And this is again a he. To me, it has a male energy. And I usually don't personify my decks, but I definitely do with this one, just because he has so much personality. I think it's mostly because of his incredible sense of humor that comes out in readings. He is very funny, but it doesn't feel silly when it comes to readings. I love the colors, although they are primary colors, but they are soothing. That's another very interesting thing about this deck. You see what I'm saying? These are primary colors, but they're soothing. Love him. Love all three of them. With the hairy legs and everything. These two are so happy. They're chatting and laughing. The faces are brilliant. The expressions in the faces. Look at him, the Juno. So it is a Besançon deck, meaning you have Juno and Jupiter instead of Le Popes and Le Pop. Yeah, the expressions in the faces, what they're wearing, look at her. And the pips are so attractive too. There is something extraordinary about this deck. Look at him. Le Capuchin. This deck is truly magical. Look how gorgeous these pips are. And they are Marseille, you know. They're traditional Marseille pips. As traditional as it can get. The rawness is there. That raw and primitive energy that you only see in real facsimiles and photo facsimiles. This is a facsimile. And he is accurate. It's like he reads my mind. And my heart too. So the conclusion is that I'm choosing this deck as the only one because considering how much I enjoy reading with historical TDMs and how funny and gorgeous this deck is and the accuracy, there is really no substitute for it. The joy I get out of this deck, out of reading with this deck, and even just shuffling it and looking at the cards is unique. I have definitely more than 100 Marseille decks in my collection. Some of them are masterpieces, but this one is definitely it. And I read into all the details, like this cat biting into his calf, but he's not paying any attention whatsoever. He's going for his freedom. You can see that all he cares about is where he's going, and what he's looking at is the future. So this was it, guys. This was my VR to Jay. I will link her video also in the description box, her original video. There are many VRs already made to this tag. I have watched a few VRs and I really liked all of them. If you have time, I would definitely suggest you go and watch a few of them. All of them are good because these are people's absolute favorites. These are people's the only ones. So it's worth watching these VRs. Okay guys, thank you so much if you stayed with me to the end. If you have not subscribed to my channel, maybe you consider doing that. I do have a Marseille playlist in my channel. It's called Marseille Lover. There are a lot of videos about Marseille decks. So that's it. Peace.